You know, in today's economy, communities are so struggling with how to go about getting input from our community and how to go in a direction. ECAP actually gives you that process of, and I love their questions. You know, their questions, they get to the heart of the matter. How are we growing our young? You know, do they want to become leaders of the future? ECAP gives you those tools to help you get to where you need to go to figure out what that process is.
Some recommendations I would give other communities that were thinking about it is, one, do it. Step forward and do it. Because we found that there are a lot of leaders out there. Part of our survey said that there was 13 to 14% of our population wanted to volunteer more and didn't know how to do it. Well, for those of us who volunteer in everything and do everything, that seems pretty ridiculous. But they just didn't have the avenue. This actually gives you the avenue and then opens up their eyes to maybe other opportunities. So do it and go in there with an open mind. We had a lot of misconceptions at the very beginning of what we thought the community wanted. And then we sat down and looked and decided that, well, maybe that isn't exactly what we were going for. So a lot of these goals that we had as an organization and as part of community betterment groups have changed and shifted as a result of ECAP, because previously we were listening to that 5% that's loud. They're standing up on tables, beating their chest and saying, this is what we need. The ECAP process allowed us to look at the other 95%, the quieter ones that maybe wanted something a little bit different.
Well, I think just embrace it. I think what I would do is try to really let your leaders know early on what this is about, and try to get as many of them involved as possible. I think the results can be, a great source of information for everyone, and so that's one of the things that I think I would do. We have had really pretty good involvement, but I think if we had more of that inclusive involvement with our, our councilmen and even the villages and towns around our county, I think that would be really, really helpful.
I would definitely say if your community is considering ECAP, do it. There's nothing that's gonna come out bad on it. You may find out a few things that you kind of may have known, but for the most part, it's been a great positive experience. It just builds on what is strong in the community there and just makes it stronger. When you can have people working together, it's so much more powerful than working independently.
Advice for those communities that are just getting going and are going to be participating is to not be afraid to take risk, to not think that you're going to please everybody in your community. And also, I think really to let people participate in the process where they're at. So don't expect them to, if they can only give a little, they give a little. If they can give a lot, and whatever they can contribute, to let them do that naturally and let the process unfold naturally, I think is really important to success.
I think it's something that every town is going to need to do some self-study and find out where they're at and where they want to be. And I think it's a good program to make people aware that no matter what the size of the community, they can make some strides in business improvement, their population, and other areas. And I think it's going to be critical for a lot of smaller towns to participate, as well as the larger towns where they may have more resources.